I would like to welcome everybody to the AGL. I am your host. My name is Dectorus. Oh my god, I am clipping. Why am I so loud? That makes no sense. Okay, 1 second. I'll turn that down slightly. And then that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Okay, there we go. And then so yeah, we got a really good game here today. We got Maryland versus Model 1. Let's look at the head-to-head. This is the team lineup right quick. I think the biggest people I got my eyes on is seeing what these two IGLs have cooked up with. I think the biggest thing is just, seeing what type of coordination and strategy these teams can bring out in this match. And we're going to get right into our first map here of Bank. And then we got a best of 3 here today. So the next map after Bank is going to be Chalet. And then if we have the pleasure of reaching the third map, that's going to be Fortress. Coming into the bands here. Got a Monty and a Zami right off the board immediately. Downstairs start on Bank. Interesting choice. I mean, it's one of the stronger bomb sites on downstairs. If you struggle to hold downstairs, I think you can struggle to play just Bank in general. Let's see. Blackbeard on the attacking lineup. They're going to start out with the Solid Snake too. Capitao getting rotated in. Habana traded out for the Ace. They realized it's downstairs. They don't need Flores is going to pick up. No. They're going to go hard breaches. Can openers. Focus on can openers. Capitao has access to those. They can just focus on what hatches they need. Looks like they're probably going to take into lobby pretty fast here. They got a lot of info staged here. They do have the cut cam for the top square area. This is very important for attackers to maintain info of the top floor, because if they can just make sure that top of Bank is clear and guaranteed to be clear, they can, just have an easier time getting through the rest of the map, and that just makes it a much nicer experience when you're getting to it. But they do know about this Jaeger downstairs in Printer. He's just hanging out in Teller's office. He doesn't know that he's made. There's really good info out here from the attack. He's just kind of lurking here. Shiesty's about to make contact with somebody. No, he's downstairs. Never mind. Looks like creeping into lobby here. Who's that? That's gonna be fucking... Okay. My goodness. Sorry. Excuse my language there for a second. But Solid Snake gets a wild headshot through the wall. He's also gonna spot out this Ella. He's gonna throw it in. No, through a good mine. I mean, Grismot mine in response. Drone gets shot out. Good flow in here from the attack. Got the first pick. They're setting up their advantage. Trying to make sure they clear out all upstairs. They left hatch soft. This feels very rookie of a mistake to make. I don't know how you can leave hatch soft from basement. I mean, got the shield. They got 3 Jaegers protecting that shield top blue, so they're gonna have a hard time getting that guy out of there. They don't have a whole lot of utility to throw at this dude, so I think they're gonna really need to rely on Snake a bit more. But depending on what he just picked up, I think it was a breaching charge he just used off of that Jaeger that he just killed, because you could select utility as one of Snake's special perks. But Tactics seem to stall out a little bit. They are just kind of, you know, doing their checklist, getting everything open they need to, nading out positions. They haven't really forced a lot of movement out here from the defense. They're sitting pretty comfortable. They're starting to threaten the server side with Snake here. If he can get in and get aggro, this could be bad. Ella's rotating up the back stairs on Marble. Do they know about this, though? No one's on that cam. Someone does have the cut, but Tachanka goes down in sight. They have the plant going down. They got the smoke. They got the cover. Hatch. The rotate upstairs gets the pick off the hatch. They still managed to get the plant off. They fail to get out of sight, but they still keep advantage at this moment. No, they have the hatch still. Never mind. Wow, what a good round from the attack. I thought the Ella did find somebody, but the Ella didn't find who I thought they found. That's my mistake. I thought they killed the Maverick. I didn't think they really killed the guy E2. But yeah, no, that was sorry for saying stalled out. No, I think that was a well-timed bank attack. They had about 30 seconds left on the clock that they really could spare with clearing. And that was, you know, they really kind of put the gas to the metal when it came down to the wire on that. Because they chose to execute. That's the biggest thing. The defense was forced to react into them in response to everything that they had for utility-wise. Capital smokes, cuts off a lot of, you know, visibility, and then also response to that, you know, information, because you can't see what's happening. So how are you going to properly respond to, you know, what's going down? But I wonder if they had an echo previously. I don't think they did have an echo last round. I think they had a smoke. And then still bringing the Blackbeard. Gonna bring the Grim as well. It's a lot of info there. Goyo. Let's get into his view. That's a bit odd. Just gonna be lurking E2. Sights upstairs. Got this wild Denari set up. Cutting off this push in through stock. Making sure it's doubled up on that. Got a lot of area cut off by this. And then they're going to stack this Wamai here on stock to help protect all of this investment that they're making to hold this 45 hallway on janitor door, because this is a very important position. But it doesn't seem like the attack is considering any of that right now. They're focused on getting these castles off of CEO repel windows, which is a very pivotal point for any attack on upstairs. They are going to start taking into ATMs as well. You very much have to control this part of the map and lobby area if you want to be able to repel on CEO windows. But they're going to probably have this guy repel off the skylight here in a second to get this guy E2. He's not being careful of his line of sight on that angle. I was about to say, he's very much disrespecting this guy E3. Blackbeard running in, forcing this guy off. They got the Habana there too to support. He's cut back into, he's stuck in E3 right now. There's nothing that he can do to get out of this situation. They're going to nade him. It's going to force him to run out, and he's going to die. No, it didn't kill him. Okay. Well, that one will. Oh, wow. Okay. How is he so tanky? I really don't understand how he lived through that, but okay. Fair enough. More power to you, Atomic. You know, using that 30 extra dent health. Still sitting up on the windows here on Repel. Not a lot of response out here from the defense, but we do got Mercy running through downstairs. Do they know about it, though? Yeah, they do have the response ready for him. He just basically opened up a line of sight to his own death. And then they get the guy E3. Now they just have to focus on taking Trump, making sure that no one takes long haul, and then they can pinch these guys in sight where they stand. There's not a lot of options left for the defense in this moment other than just fighting back. And they're going to do just that. PB Banana is going off with the kills immediately. And his teammate does not. He gets downed in response. And he gets traded. Nice. And, well, so much for that defensive round, but I think it was better in the first one, but again, I think again, it goes back to what I said early on. I feel like if you can't play bank beast fence, you can't play bank upstairs, you can't play bank mid floor. You don't understand bank. And I have to say that they played downstairs bad. I think they really could have done something more than what they did. To be expensive for what? Shout out Sam for that strat. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. That made me lose my train of thought reading that. But yeah, I think if you can't hold bank basement, it's gonna show that you struggle on the rest of the game. They are gonna try to harden these hatches with a Cade. I noticed that came out. Tachanka as well. They are stacking the smoke again on top blue. So yeah, they really have a lot of denial here. They really didn't use it much last time, if I remember, if this was the similar lineup, because I don't think they had the Echo. The Echo was upstairs. And then they're moving on to clear real fast. Got this ATM cam, clearing upstairs, just making sure no one's here. Very good, fast clear for upstairs. There is nobody roaming third floor, but there's some people lurking on the second floor that they do have to be aware of. They just made Ella, but do they know about the Jaeger in the same spot he loves playing before? Fetty loves this downstairs paper room. He also just loves hugging cams, because if he doesn't, he dies. He's also on cam. Get wrecked. Okay, but they're going to take it upstairs. Snake has first control in the building, followed up by his teammate Maverick. They're going to keep adding to their advantage. Nothing really much for the defense to do. They're kind of just letting them take upstairs. I mean, I don't know why they're taking this so slow. Like, they knew the entire upstairs was clear very quickly. Yeah, they're being a little overcautious to me. They have the snake, you know. You have the advantage. You're also droning a lot. You know that there's only 2 people upstairs if you've counted numbers on site. But this Jaeger is going to get caught out again. I really don't think he's ready for this gunfight. Because, like, they got good info. Yep, there he goes. Like, what did I say? They're lurking. They're overstaying. That's unnecessary. You know, there's a minute 18 on the clock. I mean, you could play your life, but Ella also loses her life on the roam, on the extension. So it's just, you know, yeah, you delayed 2 minutes, but it's a 5v3 now. And, you know, they have Capital bolts to block you in sight. They have Thatcher EMPs to stop your C4s. They have, really, the only thing they can't stop is your smoke grenades. But really, it's not long for this world, because he's gonna die here in a second. No, I stand corrected. They're gonna wait on taking his life. Gonna focus on getting this hatch open. Really haven't done much for forcing him off this position. They're gonna just bring over. No, they're not bringing over anyone. They're just gonna let him kind of run wild with this position. I definitely don't see why we're taking so long when we have such a massive advantage. I think they just have no info. How many drones do they have left? They don't have any drones. Yeah, so they're just being overly cautious. They're planting now, even though they had sight basically like 30 seconds ago. But, you know, they clean up the round eventually. Like, they have good cams. They have good information. But I just, there's a lot of, I think, redroning. I don't know what else I could call it. Like, I think they like double droned upstairs or something, and that cost them like 20 seconds at least. Because like somebody didn't get the info that the upstairs was clear and droned themselves or something like that. But they're gonna call a timeout here. Maryland's calling a timeout. So yeah, I think that's about what needed to be done in response. I did not obtain permission to join the call, so we're just going to chill here for a moment. But yeah, I'm really thinking about what Atomic is going to be saying to his boys right now. Like, they're down a 3 site rotation on bank, and they've lost downstairs twice, which is really sad. It is going to be after the third round, though, so that third ban is going to come out. They ban the Capital off the board, but they also, in kind, ban out the smoke, so that's going to make holding that blue stairs position a lot harder. Going to go back upstairs, bringing out the Castle of Rooney. No Denari this time. Didn't see much use out of it last time, so I respect the decision to drop him. As good as he is as an operator, I definitely just don't think he's good in all cases, and especially if they're not pushing over, into aggressively. There's no point in bringing it. I think a Fenrir is a much better swap for what is upstairs bank overall. Got Bandit lurking ATM. No, okay. He's running back to site. Rooney. Jay chilling. All the attackers going to be moving in. Droning ATMs. Doing their checklist. Doing their due diligence. Now just shoot it. There you go. Nice. Yeah, you can always make sure you clear this cam. Well, fair enough. At least you got it. I feel that at a spiritual level. That happens to me all the time with that cam and that specific cam. But Bandit might get caught out here. No, this is not Bandit. This is Mercy on Fenrir. He might get caught out here if he's not careful from the skylight. They already have a lot of pressure on the windows to site. Everything's open. They are going to try to abuse the smoke. Maybe try to get aggro and then force their advantage on these window repels. That is not something you can shoot, sir, but yeah, go right ahead and try. Yeah, that's a bad angle for Habana. That's all I'm going to say. Unfortunate. I really don't like how the laser does not correlate with where it's actually going to hit, but I always really like this repel. Like, especially with CJX, it makes it a lot easier to do because you can wrap around the corner. But and then Habana's going to rotate to Kanto because that's his next assignment, is to get that T3 wall open. They're going to start taking in here. The roam downstairs gets caught out. They get traded. So, not a horrible start from the attack, but, Demos got a little pushy. But this Blackbeard's kind of solo pushing this castle. I mean, if I was this Blackbeard, if I was pushing someone, it would be this castle. But he gets caught out in the line of sight next by the Glass watching bottom square from the rappel. So, that's good coordination there. Cut him off from his rotate, back to sight. There's nothing for the Sabana to do right now. He can't get the wall open. There's not really anybody that can help him in this. So, honestly, I think he should just abandon this. They have the man advantage. I think he should get off this rappel. Just ignore it. It doesn't matter anymore. Just jump in the lone window. Like, I think you could speed this decision-making up, bro. Like, and then Fenrir gonna start taking a fight with the Blackbeard on Spiral Staircase. They finally realize that no one's pushing there, but if Fenrir swings sight, he might be able to get this kill on the Blackbeard. There he goes. He's gonna pop off. He hears the barbed wire behind him, turns around, gets caught by the Glass. He does see the guy inside Janitor. Does he hit the... No, he doesn't, and he gets found out. Okay. I really need to remove this, bro. This is annoying. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm turning that off. Please excuse my stat, CC. Man, I wish I'd noticed that sooner, but whatever. I think it only pops up at the end of rounds for a little bit, so that's nothing big. And yeah, again, Maryland fails to hold top floor for the second time on bank, and it's just very unfortunate. So they're going to finally decide to go to the middle floor, which I personally think is one of the worst sites in bank's rotation. But some people like it. I think it's very strong if you can figure out your team's way of holding it. But depending on circumstances. there's a lot that you have to deal with on bank, just because, you know, half the site's soft basically, and then you have that big open area that is kitchen that is just asking for somebody with smoke grenades to cut off line of sight and then go deep behind that table and plant. But we're gonna start here, start poking at the site, you know, aggressing on that window, just create a little confusion, you know. Phantom pressure is the name of the game. You got to use it. So any little thing you can add to the mental load of your opponent is something you most definitely want to do. And he gets jammed out. Unfortunate for the drone there. He's going to try to go the other way with an actual cam. Even though I don't know why he got off there for a second. But besides that point, Twitch is going to make his way into ATMs. No, that's not Twitch. Oh my God. Solid Snake is going to be making its way into ATMs. It seems to be aware that there is a presence. E2 doesn't land the shots though. Belusi finds the picks. Thorns up above. Gets the angle. Finally, Maryland takes advantage for the first time this entire map. But doesn't seem like that's going to last long. Mercy's signing himself up for death, peeking a glass on that printer window. Oh, there goes Apollo. There goes their mute. Doesn't seem he's aware that this guy is inside archives. So this could be very detrimental for him. I think it's this Dokkaev. Yeah, he's droning him. 6-1. Gomez, or Grout Zeta, or Zera. Grout Zera is having an amazing game, not gonna lie. 6-1, I would feel like I'm dominating these people, but he gets caught out anyways. Unfortunate timing for him, but Mercy's gonna show him who's the boss, and this is Mercy's hour, so we gotta respect it. But they do have sight, complete sight control. They have bomb in sight. They're planting. This doesn't seem to be a response from and he drops and he dies falling. Unfortunate. This guy has 1 HP and no dream because it's impossible. I don't know what there's no way. Yeah, you sneeze on him or he stubs his toe on that gridlock and he dies. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, so this could be very detrimental for him. But, okay, this is the last round of the half, and this is going to put Model 1 on almost the spot for a perfect half, you know, going complete on top of their opponent's domination for an entire half. Pause. I just realized what I said. Okay. It's all right. But the Denari's making his way back, apparently. So they're like, well, Finnery didn't turn out super well, so we're going to bring the Denari back. Fair enough decision. Going to have the Mercy playing downstairs with Vigil. Hopefully he can have a massive impact. He seems to be turning up a little bit. You know, he was a bit quiet in those early rounds, but I think we got to talk about Fetty, dude. Fetty over here is not having a great game, bro. I want to see more out of him because, you know, I think it's just everybody could do more on the entire Maryland team, to be honest. I just don't know exactly. You can't draw it up into just a simple saying, just show more out, you know. But attack has made its way in already into open area. Gonna start threatening this downstairs hold from this Denari. No, it's Vigil, right? Vigil. And so Lion has a lot to worry about here a little bit. Sophia making an effort to pressure site. That's a nice castle to get rid of, especially early on, because now it doesn't allow anybody to play that. So if they're going to swing in for the repel later on Windows, it's just going to make it so much easier for them. They are watching from lobby side. Zofia gets the first pick on Atomic. That's Thorn down. Unfortunate. He has had quite a few opening deaths, if I'm remembering correctly. Not to say he's the cause for his team's current position, but I definitely don't think these guys are operating at capacity. I definitely think there's a breakdown of communication somewhere. PB&J gonna drop, and he gets caught out by the Lion. Unfortunate. Quentin going on a tear. Quentin gets caught out by Mercy on the roam. Finally, he actually has a massive impact frag. That really does set up his team nicely. He does get made. He is known in this position, but Zofia's not looking at the current angle. He's gonna start walking up. Does he make the shot though? No, he doesn't. Crazy, dude. Fetty, last chance, bro. You've been popping off crazy this round. You gotta go more. We need a Fetty 4K. Come on, hit. Show me the Fetty 4K. I know it's in you. But Zofia's gonna take a deep stance in a sight, make a punch hole. There it goes. Okay, we don't need a Fetty 4K. We need a Fetty 3K. So I think you know your teammate's gonna call. He's on repel here in a second. Yeah, you're gonna move. You're sorry, but into sight. All right, never mind. But hey, 2Ks. Everyone's stepping up. What needed to happen? I like to see it, guys. You know, not going down without a fight. Keeping close. And then we got our 2-minute Pro League scheduled timeout. But I unfortunately did not get permission, prior permission at least, to join the chat. So I don't know if it's okay for me to listen in. And I think it's a little late to ask, to be honest. That's my bad. But I'll try to do better and try to start streaming. At least, start streaming more of these games on a more consistent schedule now that the season's starting again. Yeah, man. They got some aggressive people on Model 1, dude. They know how to take, and then when they take hard. But I don't know. It's just they have a little bit of uncertainty with them. I feel like they waste a little bit too much time. They are very, very diligent of a team, but yeah, I think there's a little bit of over droning and a little bit of people not listening to what's already clear and understanding that, No, I was very excited to see that they won that round. I appreciate all the cheers in chat for Maryland because they definitely are going to need your support. Okay, now we have the swap sides. So Model 1's going to be taking defense. I'm going to bring out the bands. Grim, one of their first off the board. I think that is a phenomenal ban. Underrated ban, if anything. I think a lot of teams will abuse the info that they get off of that in these very confined site spaces because there's just not a lot of room in bank. Like, it's big, but like the rooms themselves are kind of small and there's a lot of stuff in them because, it's an office. It's got this, furniture. It's got the couches. It's got the chairs, and it's just, they're all turned over everywhere. And then you also got to think about the bomb upstairs and then especially downstairs, the bombs, like they are in some small rooms. So especially that red hallway, that's probably one of the most important positions for defenders to play on the map is in this red hallway that we see them setting up. angles on. It's gonna be weird trying to pick defense and click in the top row on my string back, but try to learn that a bit better. And yeah, they got the Tachanka like their opponents did, bringing a Warden as well so they can see through smoke. Hardening hatches with Cade. Thorn, I mean, it's optional. I think you could do without it. I really do. I personally see value in delaying the take of blue, especially with a smoke if it's available. I just feel like the ability to force people to try to clear you is really good with a smoke. But I mean, you can do something similar with Warden and a shotgun. That's most definitely. And then, so we got Chillin' and Volt. Doesn't look like they have anyone deep roaming. It looks like this team is very relatively quick on the uptake. I don't want to say very quick on the uptake, but you know, they're getting around to it. They're just making sure every nook and cranny doesn't have a bad guy in it, because that would be really bad. But they just made Cade for downstairs and loan office. He's gonna be playing the paper area. He is going to get caught out in a fight. And there goes Atomic with the first kill. So that's a good start for the attack. The role swap really seems to be benefiting Maryland here at the start. I'm going to start continuing to take across the map, clearing as they go. They just need to make sure that nobody's waiting for them in any of the blind corners. They're just going to sacrifice a drone to the guy inside blue. Playing aggressive here with the shotty on Thorn. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but respect on the name. That shotgun hits like a truck. But apparently, I mean, never mind. It definitely hurts. That was something else. So Atomic getting a little overzealous, finding an engagement he wasn't quite ready to take, and loses his life. Now it evens up for the defense, but you know, there's a bit of chip damage done to him. So he not much life left in Oliveira. Continuing. Yeah, they really haven't uprooted this Warden at all. There's not a lot of pressure on him. They have his cutoff back to sight, so he's really kind of stuck there now. There's not a lot he can do. He might be able to take down in servers, but if the server's hatch is open, it might not be super great to him. But they do seem to just be ignoring him almost entirely. They might be focusing on a Volt take, but then why is there so many people stacked on this server side? So, nope, they're going to bring in the lurk. Okay, so he's going to call. He's going to try to push up on the guy through sight because they're not watching the long angle, and they're just shooting fire for no reason. But apparently not. That's not what the idea was. Just everyone drop patched on the call and die. There's someone retook upstairs on them. Oh, it was the guy in blue. He left blue and killed it. Like 2 people, I think, at least. But wow. Okay. That brings Model 1 to match point. Side swap was looking good there for a second, but very unfortunate turn of events because I think they just failed to, you know, dot their I's and cross their T's. They definitely, I mean, they left the Warden there and nothing to cover him really. They try to go really aggro deep into sight for no reason. But maybe they had reason, you know, maybe they had the info saying otherwise. But all I will say is at least they committed. Once they called go, everyone went and everyone died. I put a lot of respect on that because it's like, you know, you kind of have to hold that responsibility as an IGL, as the captain, you know, as the in-game leader of the team, because you are going to make those decisions, and at least everyone needs to abide at the same time. You know, you can't have people hesitate when you say go, because that's when issue happens, you know. But you said this and then I said this, and it's just, yeah, no, it's not something you want to deal with. But no, props on them for committing to the plan on that attack. I just wish it had turned out better for them. MD off to the great start, getting the first pick on Repel. Mercy really showing up for his team now. I don't know why I'm not clicking in. There we go. Okay, that was a bit weird. And Nomad, they are very fast in the garage here, at least within a, I mean, not garage here, open lobby. At least here we are within a minute. This Amira is going to be a little bit of a pressure point for this assault, though. They just seems like they wanted them to aggress on this point, and they haven't really opened up anything to support this position that they're trying to take. Mira does seem to be falling back a little bit, but he does have that guy on his left, even though Mira fell back pretty far. But he's going to get caught out on his left. He's going to try to see if he can walk up. He burns the Denari laser. That's a very good call. Doesn't know about the guy in elevator, but he does find him out. Tries to get the pick, but his teammate is not quick on the uptake. And now the Monty's cut off from his last remaining team member, but there's only a 2v2. So they're going to try to aggress on him. He gets caught out by the recharged Denari. So unfortunate. Holy cow. They have info on the last member. But do they? When are they gonna take? Okay, there it goes. Model 1 finds success on Bink in stunning fashion. So, all I hope to see is that we have a better chalet. So we had an interesting first map, to say the least. I definitely thought these teams would be a little closer, but I mean, I think it's also maybe a mix of map pool potentially, lack of experience, but definitely I think Maryland needs to look at reevaluating their bank. But after that, oh wait, I have the order wrong apparently. We are going to Fortress, and Chalet is the. Oh, okay. So yeah, that makes sense. But okay, we just loaded into Fortress. Monty ban immediately out for the attack. I think that's a very good ban on Fortress. I think there's a lot of just the way the map is laid out and how it's broken up into like two interlaid circles. You can really mess up or disrupt defender positions by using a shield and these very long, indefensible corridors that exist on Fortress. All right, let's watch what the drones do for once. I haven't done that, but gonna take upstairs bathroom, commander office. Pretty standard site. I think it's the best site in the rotation. Fortress. I don't know if that's been, known or anything. I definitely think dorms and bunk is a less optimal site. Not to say that it's bad if you hold it correctly. It's a site that if you hold it poorly, it will be bad. So we can put it that way. And having a massive extension into games here, which is this opposite site typically. Dedicating a lot of utility over here, keeping an open rotate into lockers and a rotate into bathroom. I have not seen anything like this before. This is very creative. Let me get a look at this. That's interesting. Okay. And then the attack is going to start pressuring. He's almost found his pick, Fetty, on this wall. He's going to breach it. Make sure he can back that guy off. Not quite where he needed to be shooting, but good in faith, Grim about to lose his head, just shooting bees in his door, but he does manage to spot out two of them. Very hard push on Horus here from this team. Bringing the shield up Eagle at the same time. Very coordinated effort from them. Get the first pick out. Nice pick. That's going to set them up nicely. Second pick too. And then the flank. Holy cow. That was insane. Really just brought his team back into that. I don't know how they let that happen. What an aggressive power from the Thorn. Almost gets three of them. And flat out destroys the attack, but he gets caught out. And it's really not looking super good at the moment for the defense as another one of them falls. He's kind of stuck over there, to be honest. Yep. That was a very good round from the attack. There was at no point in time they didn't seem like they had control of that advance. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They aggressively took Eagle stairs. They realized it was minimally defended, and then once they got that advantage, they really were able to also backstab sight by taking in through Horse. And then that created a giant pinch, and the defenders really didn't know how to respond to it. I think there was a lot of resources dedicated to this extension that they're playing on the other side of the map. I wonder if they're going to continue doing that. If that's just baked into their strat, whether that's something they can flex out in and out, or really what they are going to do in response to losing that, because they are going to return back to the same site upstairs, which is an interesting decision, not just from a map standpoint, but from an IGL standpoint and a site selection standpoint. They think they can do better, so that tells me that they're confident in what they're doing, but I don't know how much it's gonna adapt. It doesn't seem like they've changed much for operators. It seems like they really have all of the same cards they had previously. Just Qtron freaking going crazy on the flank through the clock tower single wall on the rotate that the basically attack had opened up and left for him on a silver platter. Outrageous the amount of use he got out of that. Crim gonna have his drone lost inside horse. Again, they seem to have brought a Malusi in response to this aggression, but I don't think it's gonna benefit them super well. They are playing with this wall soft, so it seems like they maybe have seen this as like a vector point that they can contest by having this wall open. But they do flash and manage to force him off the position. He makes a cross. His teammate does seem to know about this player on the stairs. He drops on him, flashes him, gets the pick. What a great clear on that Jaeger. Almost kills his Blitz, but Blitz or Atomic dies to somebody somewhere? I have no clue where that happened, but very unfortunate for him. And Fetty's backstabbing site right now. Going deep on this lurk. What a crazy play. Does he know about this guy? Yes, he does. He finds the frag too. Holy cow. Does he see? He doesn't see the last. He's prone. He's fighting the black. No, okay. One in sight. They have info. They know where he is. No, he's not in sight. He's on the rotate. He tried to do what he did last time, and it still doesn't work out for him. But good effort, mate. You know, you tried. But this is a completely different Maryland than that we have seen from the first map. Like, they are setting the stage for a really good looking attack here on Fortress if they keep up this performance. I do like that they're all matching operator backgrounds. I thought that was very tasteful of them. You know, it makes it very nice and easy to see. They're gonna be playing the dorms opposite side. I definitely think this is the weaker side on this map. I mean, I guess you do have down, but you know, next weaker in the rotation. So they're gonna opt for it over downstairs in dining and kitchen area, because that site is basically this site, but you just have to hold downstairs too, because you have to hold upstairs, you know, because all of it's soft and you just can just not sit anywhere once they get everything open, but like a couple places in medical and in that short hall. But attack's gonna get underway here. Still bringing that Blackbeard. I want to see them maybe look at banning out a shield of some kind from this guy's repertoire. He really does seem to be threatening them aggressively with these shield plays. Going crazy with it. 5-1. Mercy dies. That's a massive loss for the attack on the initial pick. Unfortunate. Hard reach down within the first minute. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately. Glaz going to be aggressing onto Games directly. He's going to try to smoke himself out. And we lost the game. Unfortunate. Okay, please stand by one moment. Okay, welcome back. to the 5th round. Yeah. Okay. So we have unfortunately missed 2 rounds of play, which can't be helped, but quite unfortunate for the folks at home. Unfortunately, it's beyond our control. Definitely setting up for this tower take again. Not bringing a shield this time is an interesting change of pace. Did they get them banned away? No, they only banned the Monty. And then Snake is another pretty hard attacker ban, especially on this map. Snake can clear a lot of area very quickly with his gadget. And also just feed a lot of info into the team. It's a very good feet hole to open up because it watches the main door, so people can't just walk at your Eagle player without the player in sight at least to being able to assist. Which the Eagle player is the Clash. And they're also stacking Wamais and Tower and Clock Tower. Interesting choice. Attack's progressing slowly but surely. He's gonna find a quick peek at this Denari, who aggressively swings the window, but they seek not to threaten each other's lives, mostly just impede each other's progress. Doesn't look like much threat directly near sight from what I can tell. It looks like they're trying to focus on some type of cross-map pick. They're going to rotate the Clash over, which is going to make this a bit more difficult for the attack. They're dedicating a lot of util and just info to this half of the map. And they also have one player lurk in tower, it looks like. They're going to start taking into dorms. He's going to find through the feet hole some damage. Nothing crazy, but it is going to hurt, be very detrimental to that player. He's almost dead. Holy cow, I didn't look at the screen. Yeah, talk about detrimental for real. That's more like a plague. Okay. Think it might be Mercy who we should be watching out for, because I feel like he has probably one of the most aggressive standpoint positions in all of... Yeah, here we go. And then his teammate can drop Clock Tower. He can support it. He shoots the Echo out. Clock Tower rotates off. Clash rotates in. He's going to fire her off, getting no support from her team. Gets soloed by the Capital. Very good mechanical skill from this player. He doesn't know about the Echo swinging him, though. Unfortunate siege timing, and he does get caught out. But it does seem that we're going to find a way to get the plant down. Bathroom getting covered by the Thatcher. So Bandit's going to also find another pick in Horse. He's going to start rotating around into blockers. Do they know about this? It seems they are aware. But Echo's also still alive. So where's Echo? Echo's pushing aggressively on Bathroom. He doesn't know about the guy half wall. But Bandit's also pushing. He's getting pressured, but he doesn't know about this prone guy. He's dead. Figured what it is. And then, you know, he swings and... I definitely give props. That was a good round. Great attack. Don't think you could have, you know, coordinated that better, to be honest. I think every stepping stone was one from another. You know, you just walked across the river. Like, yeah, scores got reset, unfortunately, but just, again, I think, you know, noting some standout players on the Solus, always up there. Mercy's been making a name for himself this map. He went kind of crazy, and so did Fett in that one round on Bank, where they had a really good response to the attack. But I think Maryland's, if they can keep this momentum on defense, they should have a good fortress, and I think I should see you on Chalet, which I think would be great. Who doesn't want a third map? Of course the players, that's for sure. hold here. Nothing crazy coming out here from the defense. Barricading your teammate out might be a little unadvised. Arena's gonna be playing aggressively here on this paint tower. Gonna peek into the DMR. Trades damage with him. Almost loses his life, if not his head. Crazy angle to be fighting a DMR on. That I will add. Arena's prone super far and bottom drop area. No, he's on wall. He's on wall. Okay. Unfortunate swing from Mercy, who's doing so well. Like, I really had higher expectations for him to win that fight, but it was just an unfortunate angle. He just didn't have the shot. Paulo also very scarce for life in this world. On a sliver of HP. My goodness, he could get hit with the smoke grenade like, can in the face and he would die. Like that's astonishing. He wouldn't even need to pop it. But they're gonna continue pushing this position. They're gonna try to pinch out either side of the site here because they think with this like pincer take, they can have more pressure across a wider area of sight, and they can kind of try to funnel people in between them. They just need to be careful of their flank because like they do not have numbers right now, but they do have one person on drone, so that is a flank you can have someone call. But here, look at Quintero on the Solus. He's just Quintron, yeah, there it is. Quintero, fucking, I don't know, but English is not my first language. It's sarcasm, so that's what I like to say. But continuing, Grim is going to continue to die if he does not move. If the smoke throws a gas at him, which might happen here shortly, but I don't know. He's not walked up into it yet. He's gonna go for the wall. This is, yeah, a pivotal angle to have pressure on. It's not looking great. He really should have had his gun up for that. There's no reason. Pick out another one. Finds him. Doesn't take the shot. Goes prone. Holds the angle. Close on the door. Gets checked. Does he know? He rotates out. He's gonna try to swing him. He's got the far. Does he have the angle? No, he doesn't. Like, he had the distance. I think he just needed to swing a bit more aggressively. But it's a shotgun, and that dude had faith in his shotgun. You can tell just by the way he was holding it. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you don't have faith, you're gonna one pump someone. You're just not gonna do it. And here's our 2-minute timeout. So we're just gonna chill here again for a second.
Round. I'll let you guys know if we need to rotate and move around anywhere. But for now, just fucking play the zones, and we'll react accordingly. This is gonna be
Watch
really good for us.
That's the whole point of split take. Is they're gonna try to make y'all split, and they're gonna try to hit a lurk.
Concerned about a lurk. Interesting. Okay. So, seemed like the analyst or coach on Maryland was concerned that they might try to help create some division of power within the site and then find a gap using a lurker while people are preoccupied, which is not a bad assumption for Fortress. And then they ban the Denari and the Malusi. Crazy area denial off the table. Monty and Capital. I don't know if those have the same weight. I think you gotta play a bit differently in your lineup if you don't have these ops on this type of map. There's just so much that you can do with Denari and Malusi, just with how effective the AoE area of effect of their abilities are. Like, it's just, there's crazy how much coverage you can have and how hard it can be to get rid of, because like Malusi's only open up when you're within the radius of them to activate, you know. So and then Denaris are also really hard to shoot, but you know, you could also throw something and sacrifice it, but then they're back up in 15 seconds. And that's like always something you got to be aware about. Like, we already saw what happens if you're not aware for a Denari that you've already burned and you walk up on it and you try walking back because you think it's safe, and then you get your toes caught. Like, and bringing out the Solid Snake on the attack immediately. No slowing down these team. They're going to try to say, we're going to hit you hard because we're over it. So I like where this is going. Defense takes to command for their first sight, similar to their opponents. Walking into theater. Nope, that's defense person, but they are controlling it. They're aggressively. They have a lot of presence on this other side of the map. I do like these head holes here. I don't know if I agree with how aggressive he's holding this. He's not made, but he hasn't seen a drone. But there's no guarantee you're not on drone at any time. But and in certain circumstances, you can surmise that, you know, if they have like one drone left, you know, probably it's not. The shield's taking into tower. Bandit getting aggressed upon. Shield go down. He's not ready for the Warden playing close on Eagle. Reinforces off the wall after he kills the shield. Great response. They're going to flex rotate off bathroom too, make it even harder. The flex rotate gets him killed though. Unfortunate timing. Good read off the snake. Way to capitalize off that. He's going to rotate downstairs. There's still thinks this guy is on the window, but he's not. And he's worried about the feet holes here, which he definitely should be. And they're getting pressured from Horse, but... And, I mean, they're holding exactly what they need to hold, but they're going to find here in a second they don't have numbers. I mean, Fetty just took what I said and threw it out the window, because he said, spit on that. Okay? And then Atomic is going to put what I said back in fact. And then it continues to go downhill for the defense. As Apollo Kid is left solo. He's holding bathroom. Let me see if I can find his spectator. Nope. I did not click the key in time. They banned anti-lurk ops. Oops, I'm never wrong. You're not wrong. No, you're not. Oh, okay. Now I got some context from the in crowd here. So Bank is one of their worst maps. Fair enough. I think it was a pretty bad map, unfortunately. No sugarcoating it. And you don't take UDM to Fortress. Bet, because that means I think Chalet is imminent. But they gotta prove Gotta show out. Lapsing on this defense. Unfortunate. I've died to that hatch and bathroom a couple of times, and it's very much annoyed me because we open it, and I still haven't learned Fortress, apparently. Yep, setting up drones, getting basic info, clearing anything they can. They're just looking like they're trying to just stall out the shield drop. I mean, he can try to force a nade off on this. I don't know how valuable that will be. Mercy's just gonna be here just threatening the area denial on this position. There's not a lot they can do with the fire on the ground, because the moment the shield drops, it's gonna knock it back with the fire on the ground. So then it's basically render it useless, and then he can just get shot in the face, is what I'm trying to say. And so it's just not great for them to continue to keep pushing this if they don't really have a solution for uprooting this guy. They could try to get a Flores drone on him, call him. Oh, he drops anyways on bad timing and gets killed. Wow, now this is really bad for the defense. They just lost a massive power position, and he's gonna rotate off of it. But having the numbers down on this type of map in this way is unfortunate, especially the Tachanka, the air denial. But they got that first pick. That's what the attack wanted, and now they're gonna split them. They're gonna try to pair him off, and they're gonna knock him off. Is what they're gonna do. They're gonna take in the bathroom here. Yeah, he's just walking at him, and then he's in bedroom. Drone in. He knows he's in there. Shield coming out. He shoots up the legs. A little bit of damage done to Blackbeard. Not a whole lot. I don't know if I would have liked the aggressiveness he took into this hallway, but he's really still trying to keep it alive. But no, he gets the naded out. Headshot onto the Blackbeard. Insane. Holy cow. Just chill. I would reload if you can. But he's going to go for the aggressive swing. He's sitting in the smoke. He just stares at him. Holy cow. Fetty 2 is coming up on the flank. Got to pick off the window. He gets picked off. Atomic finally shut down. Misty threatening this Cade. Fetty watching Horse Hall. Waiting. Wall's open. Ran right in. There's no way he lives off that. I would aggress super hard on him like that. You know he has a goo in. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have died to him if you pushed. Unfortunate lineup there, but Cade, he's gonna try to stick it. I don't know if he has the cover. He does. He does not. He does not. He gets knifed. Holy, what a great round. I don't understand why there was that lack of coordination in Model 1 there. They've been so good with covering the plant, but Thatcher aggressively takes onto the dude rather than trying to cover his teammate and jumps through the rotate, which honestly, I don't know. I guess poor decision making in the moment, but yeah, that was wild. But I'm happy Maryland equalizes. Means we're closer to Chalet. They also bring in the snake again. Bring in a blitz too. I like the change of pace. Forces massive considerations out. Because they have a Warden, but where's Warden playing? Warden's playing downstairs, about to literally run into the Blitz, ironically. How poetic is that? Yeah, no, these guys are made for each other. They're like magnets, and they don't even know it. Crossing paths. Two celestial bodies locked in a geostationary orbit. They really ain't doing a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, yeah. Gonna start ramming this upper floor. Yeah, there's no one defending it. I'm not sure why this took so long for them to clear. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't look at the attack very well. I probably should have better. I definitely don't think it should have cost them a minute 15 to clear the upstairs. Because there's no one up there. There's two people doubled up over here on sitting room side. Like, and then they're holding inside the hard points of the site. See how, notice how nobody's in the actual B bomb site or A bomb site really. Because it's just a death trap if you are. And then he gets caught out on stairs. Unfortunate timing from Banana. Think you should have been more presently aware, bro. Unfortunate. Okay, let's see. Not a whole lot happening. Very slow take from the attack. Not a whole lot of aggression found out. Like, this is turning out very well. It does seem like they're kind of setting up for an execute, but I'm not sure what the actual hard win con is. Are they going to try to drop the hatch after they sense and, you know, grim the... Yeah, I mean, if this guy can get his senses through the floor. They're going to push the door, kitchen. Yeah, they just hard push it with the shield. They smoked out. Nope. Okay, this is pointless. Yeah, he gets killed. Nice cross cut. Holy cow. What the cover? They don't have a response. Okay, didn't... Okay, trades come out. Trades fall out. This is really good. Maryland's going to keep advantage. And they find all the picks. Okay, and time runs out. Nice. What a good defense. Nobody got overzealous. Really? I mean, Warden just got kind of found out lurking. That happens. And then... But that was a really good kitchen. Drone skin. Oh, no. Yeah, that's not good. Calling drone skin. Wonder if they're gonna actually report that to an admin or not. So everyone should be on the attack, should be checking themselves right now, asking their teammates, "What is my drone color? Is it default?" But drones do swap different. You have independent drones for every independent operator. So you'll have, you know, there's 50 attackers, you'll have 50 drones, and that all individually have to be set for every attacker. So it's a bit cumbersome to go through and clear them if you manage to set one, because it's really easy to set them universally. It's impossible to undo it unless you do it manually. But a lot of these major players are definitely getting shut down on M1 this time around. Not a lot of effectiveness coming out from the shield plays. Very quiet in that house. Maryland just looks like they're getting better round by round. I don't know what else to say. They know about this thorn close on the door, but what are they gonna do about it in response? Playing top eagle, supported by thorns and Fenrir's in this position. That's a lot of utility dedicated to holding this. Even an extension over in games from the defense. Wow, they're all over the map. They're not letting him get an inch. And, explosion comes out. No more shield for Warden. This is going to force him back in his position. Grimbies are coming out, but they don't land or see anybody that I can tell. Because no one's getting pinged actively by them. But they are all over the stairs. Flores drone comes out. He should have way reacted that sooner. But I guess he didn't want to get baited. He's starting to swing now, but he flashes his own teammate and himself. He's trying to flash again. Pushes the staircase. You're flashing a Warden, I might add. So, I mean, hey, you double up, you get the kill. Nice pick. Defense is starting to look in shambles. One person down. Gonna get picked up. Mercy. One in sight. No, he's not in sight. He's in clock tower. Lower. Teammate gets found out. Now it's a 2v4. They have all this control. They're about to take into horse. This guy just needs to literally walk in. There's no one here covering. And they can just start trying to plant somewhere once they get a bomb over from tower. But Atomic is going to have something to say about that. If this guy is not careful, he could just shut down this whole play. Ooh, that could have been really it right there. If they lose case, that could have been it. There's the pick. Nice trade back. A Mercy also. No response. They have no clue where these players are. They're so scared. Okay, he's trying to swing. He gets the pick. He finds it out. He's over aggressively swinging. They're doubling up. They swing double. Okay. Wow. That was great coordination there on the clutch moment from the attack. This is gonna be a long game. Holy cow. It's just a back and forth bloodbath. Yeah, I think that was a pretty rough round for Maryland, this whole map. I think that was probably one of the few offsided. They did have a good response. No, I mean, like, you know, I think the 4v2, you know, I mean, just being in that situation's bad. Being able to bring it back to a 2v2, but losing the 2v2 is worse. I don't know, maybe. I'm gonna start pressuring the horse here with his utility. Not really finding anybody. Try to aggressively swing. They find some people out. Betty and Mercy are first to drop. No. And also Warden's down. It's a 2v5. Plant is also going down. Nope, they had to stop it. And never mind, it's a 1v5. I was watching the wrong people, apparently. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was a flawless round. From Auto 1, holy cow. They said enough's enough. Coming into clean house. Gonna revisit downstairs, but without the smoke, as that's been banned away. I mean, can I first person? Oh my goodness, where am I? My stream deck. Okay, there we go. No skin. No skin. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what bro's yelling about. Bringing the glass out again, dude. I'm scared to see what they cook up with this. Because if it's anything like the last time they brought out a glass, it's gonna be disrespectful. Again, people just not making up their minds where they want to put their shields. Start clearing upstairs. Pretty standard procedure. We've all been here, done that. But does he see the feet? No, he doesn't. Not the right angle. I'm gonna start cutting in this other room. He might have an angle. Not a whole lot of alert coming out from the defense. Merc is upstairs trying to just pressure. Yeah. He's waiting for them to get sloppy. And they're coming down to the wire here. They've burned a whole 2 minutes almost. And they've got a lot done. They need to start prepping for their execute, whatever that is. And it might be involve this glass jumping in the window here to try to kill the guys inside of medical. No, he's gonna rotate off. Crazy. No way. Legion loses it out. Ace finds the first frag. That's unfortunate. He's gonna get the wall open on dining. Sorry. Grim, Lucille comes out, finding a lot of success. Info on 2 players. Shotgun finds the kill onto the glass. Amazing response. Plant still going down. Nobody has any idea. It's a 1v2. It's a 2v2 now. I mean, 3v2 and then 2v2. But, yeah, there's not a whole lot of info from the defense here. They have no idea where these last 2 players are. Merc is going off, dude. Okay, now he knows last. Let me spectate him. Okay. He's got to find this pick. Oh, he does it. Holy. Dang. No map 3. He doesn't catch him on the boost. He doesn't hear the volt. And he doesn't hear the volt. They really had that, dude. Completely different team on that map, dude. Genuinely. You can definitely tell. Maryland put up a good fight. But Model 1 just had the better structure. I think they knew what they had to do as a win con. And they all just kind of checked off all their boxes and succeeded at that. A lot of the time. Especially on Bank. But thank you all for joining me today. And let me just update the scoreboard real quick. And that's going to be it, unfortunately, for this match of the Americas Gaming League. And I'm your host. I'll be signing off. See you guys.